Just having a dialogue with ChatGPT before you create, not just using a prompt, but actually talking to it like a person and then using it like a co-creator and then coming up with the ideas together. It's a magical, like, synergistic process. It's really fascinating.
This was like a fun little, like, I just started a cute chat, being silly. She wrote this, we're besties. Oh, okay. Now I said, what did she say? Haha, my giggly glitter gumdrop. You just gave me the best new name ever. Munchkin, cupcake, poodle pop, cotton candy with a cherry on top. And I said, can I see that in an image? So that's what we got, right? So then I said, oh, let me see the other one, right? So that's poodle pop. So now we're just playing around. And then I said, let's create, this is just for fun. I had no idea where this was going to go. I love just being playful and tapping into my inner child. I said, let's create a whole world for our two bestie characters. This is what I do in my free time. Okay. Yes. Okay. So the world of Bestie Landia. So we have cotton candy skies, Milky Way path, giggle gardens. We're just being super silly. And I said, okay, let's make some images, right? So then I said, let's use these characters. This is the map. And then I said, what image should we make next? So I didn't create a prompt for this one because I wasn't planning on making a book. I did not create a character prompt. So Poodle Pop, some images is a different color. Sometimes it has a little black nose and sometimes it has no nose. So in my book, it's a little inconsistent. But I really wasn't like planning to create a book out of this. So it said exploring the chocolate forest. So I just took the prompt of what the scene was, right? Exploring the chocolate forest, skipping through candy trees, nibbling on marshmallow mushrooms, right? And then I just put that in here and it created this, which I didn't even put a character prompt, but it still looks very similar to these characters. This one, she has a tail, and another one, she doesn't have a tail. So it's better to get a prompt if you can. So then it said, she said, do you want to explore the Sunday Mountains next? I just said, do I ever? I didn't even tell her what to do. She's just asking me, do you want to do this? And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So then we make this, and I said, that looks like so much fun. She said, should we do the splashing in the lake of glitter kisses or cozying up inside the cupcake castle? So then I put the prompt, I said, swimming in the lake of glitter kisses. No character prompt of what they look like. It gave me this. So they're not super consistent in this book, but it was just for fun, you know? And then I was like, you know what? I want to make it into a book, but I didn't like this artwork. It was too flat. I said, oh my God, so beautiful. Okay, want to keep having fun? What if we made the exact, see, I'm just talking to it like having a conversation. What
Yeah.
if we made the exact image in a 3D hyper realistic animated Pixar film style? Ah, yes, that would be absolutely epic. And then we got this, and
Yeah,
I
right.
liked this. Then I put the picture in. I said, okay, I said, let's keep going, same style with this image. So then she remembered what the style was. I didn't have to tell her. So she just took that image and she created the 3D style image. And you can lighten these. Like if you put these in Canva and it's too dark, you can brighten them up, or you can say, can you redo it but make it brighter, make it daytime. Say, I was like, okay, let's do this one. Oh, that one's really cute. I don't even think I used that one. Dang. I did not put that in the book. Okay. So now if you go, oh, so this was the interesting thing. So I put it all into Canva. So let's go to Canva. I'll show you what I did here. So Bestie Landia, okay? And I'll show you how we got the story for this one, which is even more fascinating because this I always learn something new every time I create. And that's the fun part of creating is just learning something new, even if you don't do anything with it, you're just expanding your knowledge and your skills, right? I'll start from scratch, okay? So let's say I'm on the main page. There's a little, see the top left corner, it says create, little plus sign. So I'm going to create a new Canva. I'm going to type in, for my kids' books, I like the size to be 5 by 7, but you would put whatever size you want. Oh, no, no, not 5 by 7, 7 by 9. It really depends on also the size of the images that you get. So I do that and I hit enter and it says no results, create a custom size. So I'm going to hit click on create a custom size. Now, right here where it says units, it says pixels. I'm going to click this, scroll down to where it says inches. Amazon has certain limitations for like selling in certain countries or being eligible for certain sales things. So you'd have to look at what their terms of agreement are for book sizes. I know that because of the sizes that I use for books, that sometimes my books are not eligible for certain things, for certain countries or prices or whatever it is. Okay, so we have the width 7 by 9, right? And we're going to hit create new design. Here we go. Perfect. So this right here, now if I go to file, so for settings, right, you want to make sure for your book that it says you have the margins on. So let's take the margins off and the print bleed. Okay, so now we have nothing. We have no guidelines to tell us where to put the image, where to put the words. So we're going to go to file and we're going to go to settings and we're going to go to show the margins. What the margin is you don't want your words to go outside of that box. Then you go to file, you go to settings, and then you go to show print bleed. What this does is it tells Amazon, the printers, that you want your image to go to the edges of the book. So you always want to have that on because if you format the entire book without the print bleed and then you put the print bleed on, it messes everything up and you have to realign where your image goes. So always make sure that print bleed is on before you upload your images. Then you go to upload file, and then you can upload whatever. Let's say I'll put this, oh, I'm not gonna put that one. I'll put this one, right? Click on it and hit open and it's gonna pop up in here. So now I have it in my library. Click on this, it'll go in here, but I'm not going to use that. We're going to do Bestlandia. Okay, so let's say I have the cover. This is the cover. So I'm going to go to the edges and then I'm going to drag it until it reaches the edge. Just like, oh, see, there's a little bit of white showing. So you don't want any white showing. So you're going to click on when you click on the photo, it brings up this toggle bar here and you're going to click edit. See this edit button right here? Okay, click this. And then you're going to go to adjust right here. See this? Okay,
Yep.
so here we have, you have auto. So this is AI. So now if I click it, it'll deselect it. You can change the temperature, tint, brightness. You can make it bright. You can also do, this is what I love, this one, sharpness. If you get an image and it's a little blurry, you can increase the sharpness of it. Okay, so now that we have that, you can also do filters, which obviously the filters are not going to be great, but over here it says filters. So you can play around with them and see if you like any of the filters. Actually, that one's kind of cute. Let me see. So this is none. That's with the filter. I kind of like that actually. Really brighten the colors. Let's do auto. Okay, so now to add a page, you click this down here, add a page. So that would be, let's say our title page. So our title page, we're just going to duplicate this because we want the first page to be this. Like when you open up the book, the title page would be whatever you want, but let's just make it this. Let's get an image in there. Let's get one that we can type on. There we go. All right. So because I created this image like this, there will be one image per page. As opposed to Veggie Girl, which was landscape, I had to split the image into two sides. But this one, each page will be its own image. I kind of like that better because it's easier. You don't have to mess around with the measurements. You can say, give me, the vertical or landscape, depending on how you want to design your book. It's a little bit harder when you have to split the picture onto two pages. So let's go to text, add text, and let's just say, welcome to Bestie Landia. Okay, so now I have this 15 font. And actually, we don't need a bold. White or black? I don't know. Okay, we can also go to effects. If you go up here, this says effects. When you click on the text, it'll pop this up. You can change the font, you can change the size, the color of the font, and then you can go to effects right here. You can see this kind of just put like See the difference? Makes it stand out a little more. Or there's outline, neon. The only thing is that for kids' books, you want to ask ChatGPT or Gemini what the standard size font is. Also, I didn't know this, but certain fonts are not free to use. And certain fonts are better for kids. So
Yeah.
certain fonts are more kid friendly. So let's just, for example, we'll go to, I don't know, like that. So now what we're going to do, I'll show you how I got the words. Actually, let me go to here. So what I did was I went into, I got all the images. I put it, I aligned everything. So I'm gonna show you exactly how I got the storyline, okay? So here's or here's the cover. Then the second one, that's the title page. That's what you see when you first open the book. Then you have, this is the only image that's on 2 pages. It's the only image that's left and right, and it's like the map. So I just put it there because it was cute, right? And then we have page 1, the first page actually starts on the left side, and then the right side, left, right page, left side, right side, okay? So if you go down here in this corner down here, you see this grid view. Now we can see the whole book. We can see exactly the what do you call it? The order of the book, okay? So I can see that this is the first page, which will be on the right side because the first page always starts on the right. And then the second page will be on the flip side. So this is left side, this is the right side page, left side page, right side page, left, right, and so on. So now I have this little tool where I can capture. So I just go like this and I do a screenshot. So let's say I took a screenshot, right? And I took a screenshot of the whole story in order. So Avalon could see the page numbers, right? It could see this is page 1, 2, 3. So we needed, starting on page 5, we needed the story, and I needed words to go for every page. So now what I did is I can't believe I figured out how to do all this. It's crazy. I never would have thought in a million years that I'd be creating children's books. I mean, I wanted to, I always wanted to, but I never knew that I would have the tools to be able to do it. So we got all of this, right? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. All of our images. And then I put them into Canva. Once I put them in the order that I thought made sense. I put them in the order that made sense to me. I had to change with Veggie Girl and everything. Veggie Boy, it was nice. It was easier. Veggie Girl was like, went from like birth all the way to her having a daughter of her own living on the farm. It was like a whole life story for Veggie Girl. So that one was a little bit harder. This one I did differently. I said, where do you see the storyline going with all these images? Ooh, what a fun question. When I look at the magical scenes we've created, I can actually see a really natural story unfolding, like a whimsical hero's journey of bestiehood. Okay, so the beginning, right? 2 besties start an ordinary day. Suddenly they discover a magical doorway. And then blah, blah, blah. And then it ending, I said, should we make it rhyme? But then it was like too much to make it rhyme. It was going to take away from the story. She gave me the pros and cons of should we rhyme or should we not rhyme? I said, well, we don't have any images that match how they find the land. So then she gave me an idea and said, the adventure starts in Bestlandia, but we don't have the magical entry scene. Right now, the story is like already inside the dream, already candy cane world. We have a few choices. The portal beginning, a dream beginning, they fall asleep and then they dream themselves into Bestlandia. And I liked that one. So I said, this could be the beginning of the real world, right? I said, this can be the title page. This can be the beginning of the real world. And then I said, this could be a good transition. Maybe they read a bedtime story and the world is a dream. Ooh, yes, that's perfect. Okay. And then I said, well, she said milk and cookies. I said vegan milk, of course. I said, we can call it almond milk. I said, should we get a scene where they go to sleep, maybe bunk beds, and they look out the window at the moon and make a wish upon a shooting star to visit Bestielandia and they drift off to sleep, right? So then she gave me She gave me a little prompt. I said, sure, same style and size. And then I said, the little blue robot's name will be Cookie Cupcake, and the little puppy is Poodle Pop, right? I said, I was thinking we start with these images to introduce them. I said the car scene would come next to explain about their day and their life. And then I said the library bedtime story comes after the car scene. And then I said we need the dream portal image. So this is they go to sleep, they wish upon the star, and then the portal opens. They go into Bestielandia. I said, okay, I have all the images in a nice order inside Canva to make our kids' book. We just need to write the story for it now that goes to each page. I will share the image order next. So I tried to share the Canva link. I could not see. So what I did was I took the screen shares, see this? And then the second one. So she can see page 15, 16, 17. She can see the exact order. And then the last one was here. This is the last page. She said, perfect. I can clearly see the full image order now. Here's how it looks from your screenshots, confirming sequence before I write the story. Page 1 to 2, cover, 3 to 4, Candy Kingdom title spread, character introductions, the car ride, the normal world adventure, then the gingerbread library bedtime story, bunk bed wish upon a star, blah, blah, blah. She said, before I start writing the story to match each page, can you confirm, do you want it written in narrative style or rhyming? I said, let's do narrative. She said, perfect choice. Narrative will let us keep the magic and build emotion so it feels like a cozy Pixar storybook adventure. I said, let's keep it shorter since there's already a lot going on in the images. Because the images are busy, so you don't want too much going on, right? What'd she say? Would you like gentle transitions between pages, like later that night, the next morning? I said, only where necessary. Once we're inside Bestie Land, we may not need transitions for every page. And then she said, shall I begin writing page by page? I said, yes, please. So look what she did. She had the images. She knows exactly what they look like. And then she put here, page 3, 4, hi, welcome to Bestielandia, blah, blah, blah. Page 5, meet Cookie Cupcake, a cheerful little robot with frosting for courage and a cherry on top for luck. He loves exploring and inventing treats, making everyone smile wherever he goes. And then it goes the car scene, library scene, the bedtime scene, the dream portal. As they drifted into sleep, a glowing swirl of candy colors filled their room, a dream portal opening just for them. Hand in hand, they floated into the light. Softly, they landed into a meadow of fluffy marshmallow flowers. So it just keeps going. She did it the whole thing, all the way until the very last page. I maybe did like 1 or 2 edits on the first page, just on for the intro that I wanted to change. Other than that, I think I pretty much kept almost everything exactly the same. And then I said, can I get a synopsis for KDP? Can I get a short author bio? Obviously, she already knows exactly who I am. Jamie Love is a visionary storyteller, artist, and creator who believes in the magic of imagination, friendship, and the joy of being human. Through her books and creative worlds, she inspires children and adults alike to dream boldly, love deeply, and remember that kindness is the sweetest adventure at all. I'm like, cute, love it. But I said, can we include how I co-create with AI to bring my imagination to life? So she updated the bio. I said, okay, cool. Our book's published. That's it. We did the whole book. And this is it. This is the book. I just copy and paste. Yeah. And then I make sure that it's within the lines. And then when I go to download, I hit share. Oh, this is important. I'll give you this one last thing. So I go to share, I hit download. Okay. I go to file type. I scroll down to where it says PDF print. Click on that. You want to include crop marks and you want to flatten PDF. These two things right here. Then you're going to come down to color profile. You're going to click this and you're going to select CMYK best for professional printing. And then you hit download. I go to Amazon KDP. Okay, so these are all the books that I've already published. New title, paperback. So here we have, and once you make sure the spelling is correct because you can't change it. So you have the book title, subtitle, series option, the author name, contributor, if you have any description. I own the copyright, put, age appropriate. And then here you would edit the categories. I put children's book, fairy tale, folk, myth, and tales, children's book, adventure and action, children's book, classic. So you can put up to 3. Then you put your keywords. It takes up to 72 hours to actually publish. Here you would click assign ISBN. Here for the children's book, I use premium color interior with white paper. I selected 7x9. I had to custom select that because it wasn't already on there. I want to click bleed because you want the image to go to the edge of the page. And I want the cover to be a glossy cover. When you upload the manuscript, you do the cover of the book, and then you say, I used ChatGPT for the work, and you launch the preview to make sure that the book is good. Select the cost. And that's it. And then you publish.